sorted. Now, I have a really special episode planned for tomorrow, and that is the fact that tonight I will be seeing Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, what that means then is tomorrow I will be doing a review video. Now, obviously, there will be possible spoilers, but I will put up a spoiler warning. So you have been warned, even at 24 hours in advance, but I will put up another warning in the actual video. I'll be watching Star Wars The Last Jedi after me and my friends from Ludo Sport are planning on doing some performing at the cinema. And once we're done, we're going to get a chance to watch The Last Jedi. So yeah, the video will be tomorrow after I get some sleep. I would like to do a video, depending on the situation tomorrow. I may do it as soon as I get home, but I highly doubt it. Because it's at midnight and it will take about 2 hours, and by the time I get home I may have to be up early the next day. So with that in mind, as I said, it could be that I would rather do a video very late tonight. Sorry, I need tea, folks. I'll either do a video tonight as soon as I get home, or I'll do a video tomorrow as soon as I get up. So yeah, folks, I'm really excited to see it. Now there are certain... What the fuck? Now there are certain aspects of the movie that I am sort of worried about. One is that it's like what everyone else says, it's going to be like Empire Strikes Back, but with a new face. I doubt that, because I doubt Disney would do that again after what happened with Force Awakens. Force Awakens had a great initial launch, but then upon repeated viewings, people started noticing that it was the same stuff. So here's hoping that they don't go in that approach. Well, we have to try that again. Now again, they may bank on it, because again, from what I heard, Disney has a reputation about only caring about their bottom line profits, and that's where they're going to get most of their money from Star Wars, is from the launch day. But it will hurt the franchise, in the long run. So my hope is that it's not like Last Jedi, and that it's not like Empire Strikes Back, and that it's a great movie. Because I've seen Rebels and I've seen Rogue One, and they're both amazing movies. They're both absolutely amazing. So that puts they're both not films. One's a TV series, but they're both absolutely amazing, and that gives me. So I have faith. Their servers are down. Alright, folks, we're going to jump on to Hand of Fate 2. No. Because I'll be talking about Star Wars, I'm going to go back to Star Wars Battlefront, but I can do arcade mode. But yeah, bottom line is, like Disney can clearly make a great Star Wars movie and a great show. The only thing now is they can't keep relying on the idea that oh how should I put it? For this new trilogy, they cannot constantly do a remake or a reboot of repeated storylines as if people are not going to notice. Like, for me, Force Awakens was visually an amazing movie, and I liked the nostalgia of it, but the problem was I did not like the plot. It was too much like Star Wars A New Hope. And for the most part, I've noticed that Ray was doing some things way too easily. And and I know a couple of people who shared my line thought that it's bad. We don't like the idea that, for example, Ray was able to do a very advanced force technique, but we weren't a fan of that. And then the fact that she was able to fly the ship better than Han Solo. Sorry, the Millennium Falcon. We see her flying the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo ever did. Oh, cool. I got duplicates, so that means 200 credits. Nice. Now, as I said, because of Rebels and Rogue One, I have huge faith in Disney. That restored my faith in Disney with Star Wars. The only thing that still has me concerned is that they're going to bank on the nostalgia for the core new trilogy movies. I would like them to branch out into something new, and I think we're going to get that. Now, I know some people who said no, they're not going to do something new, and it's going to kill the franchise. But I'm going to try and extend a little. I'm going to have faith in Disney. Possibly misguided, but I have to have the faith, because like I don't want Star Wars to die out. There we go. What rank is he? 4? How the hell do I have all 3 slots? I'm supposed to only have 1 slot. Okay, I'm not going to question it. Oh, cool. Now, as you can see, folks, that's what I was referring to earlier about something that I used to kill hero cards on my own. Let's see, I'm gonna go with explosive entry. It's actually it's actually a decent ability. Like, it doesn't have a high rate of fire as the others, but it's still very good. Officer. Cool. And then for I'm yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So, but yeah, I'm still gonna watch Star Wars movies. Like, even if they start to decline. Like, now again, at some point, I do believe Disney at some point will be like, okay, people people are clearly not reacting as well as we would hope. You know, if they continue doing it, like I hope if they continue doing it, they'll people will notify Disney. Like, again, the problem is the initial reviews on launch. The initial reviews of Force Awakens was brilliant. Like, all I kept seeing was positives. It was only after the first 6 months did people start, you know, being more vocal about how it's too much of a repeat. So all I can hope is that hopefully instead of 6 months, if they keep doing these repeated things. Now, obviously they can't. If they're going to bank on the nostalgia, they can do it for at most 3 movies, at most, unless they start trying to do repeated storylines from the prequels. But yeah, that's not going to happen. Now, what I would like to see is that at some point the Jedi Order get refounded, and they start, you know, training even harder, or new characters with training of the Force coming back. People who are also expert fighters, because that means we can get the fast pace of the prequel fights back. Because I understand why Kylo fights similar to Luke, and why Luke fought slowly for the prequels, but then they changed the pacing of the fights in the prequel movies. And that's because Luke was taught by old people. He wasn't trained from, you know, a very young age, so he's not as fast as they would have been. And obviously Vader is affected by his age and the fact that he's no longer in a pure flesh and blooded suit. So obviously there's some reasons why. And then Kylo is also trained by Luke, and so he would have adopted more of his fighting style, with a slight variation because of the saber that he wields. Now, all that said and done, I would hope eventually we get some fighting, like very skilled fighters learning the Force and learn to become Dark Jedi or Jedi. Now again, I believe the Jedi Order is going to be got rid of, and they're going to replace it with a new old group. Like, Disney is trying to make Star Wars their own, which is why I can see them doing the nostalgia. They're basically trying to they're using nostalgia to basically make people forget about Luke, like the old movies. They're trying to replace the memories of the old movies with new ones. And it's not a bad idea. Like, it's from a money-making standpoint. If people no longer associate Star Wars with the prequel movies, then they're going to be able to make more money, and they'll be able to make changes and no one cares. Because remember, when they first announced that they were getting rid of the expanded universe, there was huge uproar. And so they adopted a different policy, which was, yeah, we're not going to get rid of the expanded universe, except we're just going to make it Legends. Not everything is canon anymore. So, with that in mind, if they continue to do this, and, you know, Star Wars fans let Disney get away with more and more stuff, then eventually Star Wars is going to be unrecognizable.
MTTs at checkpoint 1, proceeding toward the cruiser.
Now I know some people will say, "Oh, that's not a bad thing," but there have been some franchises that went through a drastic change and did not survive. Like, look at, okay. We had a chance, like, look at the constant reboots of, like, the Fantastic Four and, what's it called, Batman and DC movies. They don't go over well in the long run because they change some stuff, the movie does not react positively, and thus they need to reboot it to try and fix things. And then also look at the X-Men movies. They changed the X-Men movies a lot. And no, but the first movie was okay. They changed some things, but people let them get away with it. And then they started changing more and more to separate it from the comics. And now we have an X-Men franchise that is very much different. Like, the only good thing that came out of, you know, the X-Men movies was Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So, yeah, it's a difficult scenario. Like, it's not an easy thing, like, to make a movie franchise. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I can do it better. But what I am saying is, if I am right, and that this is what Disney is trying to do, like, you know, as in, like, build up the movies so that they, by using nostalgia to get people to sort of separate them from everything that Lucasfilm did, then set them up as a pure, like, try and get them people to only focus on the Disney stuff, like, to remember fondly, by banking on their people's old feelings for the prequel movies. Sorry, no, not prequel, the original trilogy movies. Then they're gonna get bolder, change more and more stuff, and then eventually Star Wars is gonna be completely changed. Like, again, we don't know. Maybe maybe Last Jedi. Maybe by the end of this new trilogy, they're going to completely get rid of the Force. You know, it is possible. They could possibly get rid of, like, they could be possibly trying to get rid of the concept of Jedi and Dark Jedi completely. So then the next trilogy, now yeah, there will be another trilogy. Disney has said that there's going to be movies, like, you know, for a long time. Like, it's going to be a yearly thing. But the thing is, we might end up seeing movies with no Jedi or Force users at all. That is a very real scenario. So that's why I say it's okay to, like. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I grew up watching the prequels. Sorry, not the prequels. The original trilogy. I grew up on it. Now, I did though, however, watch the prequel movies in the cinema. I've always hated Jar Jar. Always hated him. No one will ever change my mind that Jar Jar was a mistake. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand why he might have seemed like a good idea at the time. Like, you know, trying to appeal to a younger audience. But still, it was such a bad decision. And then the rush. Now, again, I like the actors who played Padme and Anakin, but they rushed that relationship way too quickly, especially in Attack of the Clones, which is the weakest of all the movies. But I do not agree with this, with the general mindset that the original trilogy was as epic as what people try and make them out to be. They were not. It's an opinion that I don't share with too many people. Like, I do have friends who do agree with me that the original trilogy were not as good as what people made them out to be, or that the prequels were not as bad. But I'm the only person I know of that would put a prequel movie ahead of any of the original trilogy in terms of top movies. I'm the only one. Like, my favorite movie of all time is Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. One of the movies that people that are quite widely regarded as the worst. I alone have that that opinion in those that I know of. Hey, if anyone agrees with me, you know, put a like, put a comment down in the description below. But in general, I'm the only one that I have not known anyone who will put Phantom Menace in a similar regard. And I don't mind that. I honestly don't mind that. Because there are so many people who put the original trilogy up on a pedestal before the prequels came out that there's no way that any movie after will live up to. Hell, I still hear people say that the original trilogy, even after Force Awakens, a movie that they claim is so good, that the original trilogy is still the best movie. Every Sunday, I have a tradition in my family. No, I don't. I'm the only one in my family who does it, but I do it. I rewatch every Sunday. Every Sunday, I rewatch the original. So I rewatch Star Wars. And the only movies, in my opinion, that has aged well. Now, I still enjoy watching them, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy watching them. There's none as good, there's very little that is as good as that moment where Luke is flying down the trench and he just lets go. He trusts in the Force and then fires those proton torpedoes down the exhaust port. No one beats that. Very few moments do. But the movies in general do not age completely well. I often find myself looking forward to more watching the prequels than the original trilogy. Now, don't get me wrong, as I said, one of my favourite moments in Star Wars is that trench run. Or that final moment between Luke and Vader. But I personally just refuse to be one of those people who allows nostalgia to cloud my judgment. And that's what I look at Force Awakens like. I refuse to let nostalgia blindside me, especially since I've always been a Star Wars fan, and I will always will be. I've played Star Wars games, like Star Wars is a big part of my life, so... And then because I repeatedly watched the original trilogy, I feel like that helped. But at the end of the day, I don't put them on a pedestal. Force Awakens, visually, as a movie, it was entertaining. As a Star Wars movie, it was entertaining. Visually, it was brilliant. I love the effects in it. They remind me of, you know, the old days of the original trilogy. The fighting was brilliant. Like, everything in terms of what I would expect recovering was okay. But again, I have disagreements. The plot was too much like New Hope. Rey was Now, as a person who was a scavenger on Jakku, oh wait, it was Jakku was. Oh. So that's what that movie. I haven't been rewatching that movie a lot. I'll have to rewatch it. But anyway, well, she was a scavenger. I understand that, so it's understandable that she would have picked up the what seems to be the universal droid language, which I've always wondered in Star Wars, like, how is it that there's a universal language for droids? But anyway, I understand that she could have picked it up. My question is, where would she have picked up the ability to fly the Millennium Falcon as well as she did? Better than Han, again, visually, seemingly better than Han Solo has ever flown it. And then be able to use a force technique on a brainwashed character. Someone's, again, a stormtrooper whose mind has been brainwashed, to easily let her go, again, without knowing that the technique ever existed, having no training whatsoever, or again, she never even seen the technique, to my knowledge, done once. So, like, that bothers me, is the fact that, like, no knowledge whatsoever of anything, and yeah, she can just do it. She then fights. No, again, okay. Kylo Ren got a Wookiee bowcaster shot right into his abdomen, or it was a side, but yeah, he got shot by Chewbacca's bowcaster. That is a powerful ass weapon. Now he got shot with it. He was pissed off. And again, I understand why the set. Now, Disney has changed how kyber crystals work, so I can't give her that. But a part of me has to give it to her because, again, I'm an expanded universe fan, and the way kyber crystal, I hope Disney will bring it back eventually. But the way kyber crystals worked was they were sort of semi-sentient, and that was Anakin's saber, who only fell to the dark side for good reasons. It was then Luke's saber, who, you know, again, it was always wielded by people with pure intentions. Sorry, with good intentions. So obviously, if two Force users were pulling at it, the kyber crystal would be more drawn towards. An example of Rey and Kylo, it'll be more drawn to Rey over Kylo, and that's how I see it. Now again, they've said they did change the lore in that respect, so I can't really give it to her. Like, a part of me wants to give her that aspect, but it's difficult to do when they, again, change the lore. But still, she then was able to beat Kylo in a dark Jedi who is gleaming with anger.
Charges aboard the West Juggernaut.
Yeah, Kylo should have been. Kylo would have been far stronger at that moment. If I'm remembering correctly, like, Kylo is a Dark Jedi, so he would have training to harness his anger. So that's why I'm a bit annoyed that, like, they have Kylo and
Juggernaut destruction imminent.
Target acquired.
Eliminate clone squads and prepare for phase 3. Beginning final phase. Detonate the front and rear fuel pipes before the cruiser launches. It must never leave Kashyyyk intact.
So yeah, so don't take me wrong, folks. I'm not just bashing Disney and Force Awakens. Like, again, I can't say Force Awakens was a bad movie. I can't. The only thing that I can now, I have a friend who also is not a fan of Finn, the stormtrooper who eventually joins Rey against the First Order. Now, I have a friend, as I said, I have a friend who does not like him because why is it that this person who was apparently brainwashed was suddenly able to break his indoctrination and turn against the First Order? Now, the human mind is a tricky thing, so if there was the slightest, it's possible that there could have been a slight flaw. So,
Explosive in position. Front pipe set for demolition.
so yeah, there could have been a slight flaw in terms of the brainwashing. So I would give Finn a pass. Again, don't get me wrong, like the abruptness of it, I think they could have done a better job at it, and they didn't, which is a bit of a disappointment. Like, you can't just rush things like that. Again, like, especially when it involves brainwashing. So I suppose my friend does have a point that they should have not done it in the way that they had. But it is possible for people to break the indoctrination. Now again, the whole premise of soldier beats clone, I don't agree with. The clones were a much better choice. Like, the clones were superior to the droids, and we've, like, the fact that they always did so well against them proved that. Now, it was only the Empire eventually replaced clones with, you know, recruits. And I would say it would be at that point where, like, now the Empire still had a firm grasp, and the Stormtroopers were still extremely good. Now again, after in the first movie, we are shown that we are told that Stormtroopers are elite forces, and throughout the movies you get that impression, except for Return of the Jedi. But then again, Ewoks are carnivorous, and as far as they were concerned, they were fighting for dinner. So I can see, and also they had the numbers on the stormtroopers, but then throughout the rest of the expand, like then eventually we start seeing more and more stormtroopers, and then eventually you get the impression that stormtroopers are grunts. You eventually get that impression through other forms of media of Star Wars. Like you eventually see, like for example, Rebels. You see stormtroopers also serving as also police, and the same goes for video games. So it looks like they, and again, some of this was even before Disney took over. So so technically, like, this is, it's like they were debunked as special forces long ago, after New Hope. I'm not sure if that was originally the plan, but it's where I wound up. That stormtroopers were grunts. And the only time we ever seen them perform poorly was when they were against the actual stars.
I've got a bomb.
Like all movie bad guy henchmen. Like, people forget that stormtroopers kicked ass on Hot. Like, they are very competent soldiers. It's just that a lot of the time when they were missing, that were memorable moments, was actually when they were shooting at Luke, Leia, Han, and whatever. Now again, people can bring up Return of the Jedi, but again, we've seen there were evidence that the Ewoks were being killed. So stormtroopers were killing Ewoks, but it's just that now, as a person who's played Warhammer 40k and other real-time strategy games and strategy games in general, sometimes numbers can win. Regardless if you have the technological superiority or the firepower, sometimes it's not enough. God damn it.
Almost deactivated all charges at the rear pipe.
Like, sometimes it's not enough. And you can just be completely taken out by sheer numbers alone. It is possible. But either way though, stormtroopers are not as bad as what people say they are, and that annoy. It's one of those jokes that just annoys me because there's no evidence for it. Like, anyone who... there's just no evidence for it. Which is why I'm glad in Rebels that we see them also playing like a skilled part in it. Now don't get me wrong, because of plot armor, Ezra and the Ghost, Phantom Crew, the Phantom Crew. I think they're called Ghost 1 or Phantom 1, like whatever. But anyway, Ezra and the crew, they get protected by plot armor. A lot. But we have seen the stormtroopers in the hands of skilled tacticians take out, lots of people. But yeah, it just annoys me so much when people are just like, oh no, look, stormtroopers can't aim for shit. But then they never specify moments where they can't aim for shit. Oh. Like, okay, let's look at New Hope. New Hope, we clearly see them, it's clearly evidence that they killed all the Jawas and strategically shot to make it look like Tusken Raiders, and then they moved as if they were Tusken Raiders to give that off that impression. Then on the Death Star, in Mos Eisley, they went. Now, back in the old lore, the stormtroopers' weapon was at most at times a crowd control weapon. Like, it was evidence in Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Star Wars Battlefront 1 that the further you are from your target, the less accurate you're going to be. It heavily relied on getting medium distance or, dealing with a large group. Whereas the Rebels guns specialised in, long range. And it was very accurate and again, that's because they did hit-and-run tactics. Now in this game, I did notice that they sort of dropped that idea, because the blaster is just as accurate as the rebels. There we go. The game audio is finally working. Shit, I'm being targeted by a fighter. Huh, didn't die. Damn.
Direct hit to the troop transport.
Come on, come on.
Time to head back. That OTT is taking damage.
I need allies to take the goddamn launchers. Oh my god, we have 3 of them.
disruptor effective. MTT impaired. Stay together. MTT under fire.
I don't think I've ever seen any of these walker things get taken out yet. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't think I've ever seen one of these things get taken out. I really think... Shit! I really think this game mode in general needs to be rebalanced. Because again, as I said, like, I've never seen those things being taken out. I've seen them getting heavily damaged, yeah, but never taken out. Like, I rarely see them drop below 50 at the halfway point. That's not like, again, I have people, no. It's quite possible that people have been messing up by launching them. Sorry, I don't know what I was saying. That people have been launching them way too soon. As in, like, the rockets themselves don't do any damage, but people unload all, like we have 3 rockets here. That but people unload all 3 on the enemy.
A lot of firepower.
That is quite possible. The only problem with that is there's no real tutorial about this game mode. And if there was, there's no real incentive to play the tutorial. Like, it's completely optional.
That's it. Those things can be hurt. Transport under disruptor fire.
In my opinion, it seems to strike me that, like, if you really want to do well on this mode, you need a full party. You just need to be talking to each other, and you need to tell them, like you just need to basically work together to get your hands on all the launchers, and then coordinate your fire. As in, like, if all 3 of you have your rockets, or if 2 of you have rockets, because I think sometimes this is the only mode. It's only when there's 2 of these do they have repeated ones. Like in this one with 3, if we have all 3, we focus fire on one, but we don't fire them all at the same time. We will fire at one, get shields down, then we unload on it.
Watch out! Enemy leader on sight!
Right, we all unload on it. Deal as much damage as we can. And then as soon as the shields go back up, we then begin firing on it again.
We tried it the easy way. That NPC is in position. Fall back and regroup. They're not ready to board the cruiser yet. They'll need to get past our juggernaut turbo tanks first. They'll try to detonate the control centers. Move to intercept.
It's not me to do that.
him on the west turbo tank.
Damn, the tank got me. But yeah, that's how I see you should really play those modes. The only problem is it's 20 per team, where the odd chances is they're all going to be able to communicate with each other. You know? It's going to be very unlikely.
Get to the west turbo tank. That bomb's arming.
They're all heading up on that side. They have Boba Fett there.
West Juggernaut offline. We lost the controls.
Now, sometimes I see these guys being outlined, so I think this actually helps out our members of the team. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to Google it at some point. The Stinger pistol is very weak.
Let's go.
Yeah, I can't look at my abilities.
Who is that? Someone's slaughtering our troops.
Just
Launch him in the east Juggernaut.
I will always survive.
Bomb defused. East turbo tank clear.
Oh, you got me. Ah, I need to get my hands on that rifle.
Got your back.
Haha, revenge.
This will be a day long remembered.
Separatist leader is on the ground.
But yeah, I like how your character actually gets dirty.
Who's that leading the droids? Can't quite see. Unidentified enemy on the battlefield.
Damn. For victory.
The enemy is retreating. Out of droids and out of firepower. Now our cruisers ready to launch.
Now, they did say, Harry, that they want. I saw footage of customization at some point, but I hope they bring it in soon. I hate sitting on this leather chair. Let's see here. I'm at. Oh wow, I'm at 93 out of 200 for the specialist. What time is it? Alright folks, I'm going to take a break here, but again, as I said, actually I'm going to stop broadcasting for, today now. Now, hopefully, tonight or tomorrow I'll do my video, and I'll do my review video, and also on Friday I'll be doing a recap video of everything that you guys would have missed over the course of me not having a working mic or headset of the Lunar Guard Adventures. Now we are back with the Lunar Guard Adventures this week, now that I have this bike, and I'm so thrilled I have it. It's really good. There's a few issues I have with it, such as like the settings are very iffy. I wish the control piece, like the things that control the volume and all that, I wish they were a bit further down on the cable, so that way I don't have to, or I could clip them somewhere. I can't at the moment. There's no clip for it. Like, you just have to hope to God that your clothes or your arm does not move the things. And again, I've seen a case where they do get moved, and it's a bit frustrating, to be honest with you. I would love it if it was further down, then I could put it down in front of me and everything will be okay. Sadly, that is not the case, so I have to be extra careful with it. Let's see, how's my aerial? Wow, I did not rank him up at all, and yet my enforcer is rank 2. How the hell did that happen? And my aerial, according to this, my aerial has literally no luck whatsoever. Like, what the hell? I like how they give this impression that you can slide. Oh, there you go. Okay, so there's the jet trooper, there's the BT rocket. See, like, there's no indication, like, so he has wrist rockets. Rocket launcher, rocket launcher. Okay, so all of them, except for him, has the same abilities. First, flame trooper. Oh, there's the trooper. So I can probably use light and sound to just do targets, overload enemy sensors without inflicting very much damage. Fortify. Huh, so that only fortifies them. What's overload? Overload overrides enemy's factory systems. It modifies the primary prepper mode and super cools the barrel to prevent heat buildup. Okay, so that's so I can keep shooting without having to worry about cooldown. Okay. They have thermal. He has incinerary floater. He has a wrist rocket. So it's only their grenade that varies. What other answer I said in it? No, that goes to first order. So that's what I find weird. Like, the default enforcer in terms of the hologram is first order. Then the rest, then the armor is. No, see, like, look at that. The armor is. There we go. Now it's coming up as options. Like anti-vehicle missile, motion scanned grenade launcher. The next is the AAT, siege mode, linked fire, high explosive shells. What was the ion charge? Apply an ion charge to regular ammunition for a short time, effectively against vehicles. I need to use that again in thing, but that has a repair mode. He has, that's about it. So, I like how it gives the impression that there's no armor for the rebels or resistance. Like, what the hell? Now, okay, artillery. Missile guidance disruptor. Other missile guidance disrupt ground to air missiles. Okay, that's good. Heatsink. Primary weapon cannot overheat for a short period of time. That is good. Heavy laser cannon. Orbital strike. The MTT linked fire, motion scan and refresh. New wing gunship, missile guide systems, heat sink. Again, what the hell? Now here's where the rebels get their stuff. Like I have not seen any speeders for besides on the speeder bike. Everything else, I've rarely seen first order use these, but I have seen them. So, yeah. Everything has motion sensors except for the airspeeder, the afterburner. Repairs, and then they have turret gunner. Cool. Weapon overcharge. Increase the power weapon damage for a short period of time. Okay. Right. Cannot use your current target on time. Okay. Electromagnetic countermeasures, missile lock. Sorry, multi-missile. I like how a lot of them have some auto repairs, but then there's like missile lock. But yeah, apparently there is a section that allows you to. Apparently there was some data mined, and we discovered that like eventually you'll be able to like set default divisions for your character. Like they had like clone Wolfpack, clone 501st, and the like. I hope to see that at some point. Now, the next character I unlock, I'm actually going to put up the save up for Vader, and then I'll get Luke, then I'll get Chewie. Oh, there's 2 different challenges now. Earn. Oh wow, damn. That is okay. So that got oh wow. So yeah, folks. This is Wolf Ninja sign out for now. May the force be with you, and remember, we're all for initiative.